So Kenneth, this is the first time in 13 years, I believe, that you've acted and directed. Why was Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit the right project for the dual duty?
Well, I didn't immediately decide that. I'd been directing and developing the script for a little while, and we had slowly, enhanced the character of Jack, and then Kevin Costner's character came on board, and it felt like we were making good changes for his character, and the same with Keira Knightley. And then it did seem like that it was this quartet, and obviously by that stage I was well involved in the development of all of this and some of the impact it had already had on the character of Cherevin. And then it seemed like a terrific part to play, and one that would be, manageable practically from the point of view of filming as director, if I could plan it properly. And the prospect of playing someone so quietly dangerous was exciting. So I wanted to act with Chris and with Keira, and it became a sort of. Various people on the production had been saying, "Oh, you ought to do it. You ought to do it." Once I felt script was good, I could manage it. I then threw myself at it with relish.
And the film moves with breakneck speed through different locations, Manhattan, Moscow, London. How much did you relish the global aspect of filming?
I enjoyed that. It was very sort of whistle-stoppy. One of the things in the style of the movie, which we used multi-cameras for a lot, we would shoot straight away, very rarely rehearsed, often multi-camera, often doing close-ups first, and often just going straight to it. So for instance, when we arrived hotfoot from Moscow, I remember to Moscow from New York. We just got off the plane, it's 7 o'clock in the morning, driving into the first location, and we were shooting by lunchtime. There was a kind of that quality all the way through. And when we got to Moscow, a very important scene in the film, which is where Chris Pine's character is alone on a rooftop in Moscow, having just been involved in a very significant act of violence that's left him shaky. We see him vulnerable, we see him alone, and I remember us shooting that very swiftly on day one and saying to Chris, it's 3 pages of dialogue, I'd like to shoot it in one, I'd like to do it at sunset as the sun's going down, we need to get a move on, it'll be like a 40-minute window, you're ready to go for it? And he was. And that quality, the sort of pulse-quickening quality that was to do with our own little schedule, the scene itself, Chris had only just started, all of that helped bring that breakneck quality to the piece.
And you play the villain, of course, Viktor Cherevin. What motivates this ruthless man who is not entirely devoid of charm? His own life is running out, and he carries a big personal grudge against America on behalf of his nation and on behalf of his family. He's romantic. He's a patriot in his view, and he's a ruthless man. And we wanted him to be that dark mirror to Jack. Jack, I believe, is also a patriot, but that doesn't mean it's America overall. But just he loves his country well enough. Viktor has that dangerously sane quality, and with life running out for him, some people would say when you have no choice, you have freedom. So. Cherevin has that, makes him very, very dangerous. But he also has these quite human weaknesses. In this case, that he should be right at the moment of his triumph, distracted by a beautiful woman with whom he can discuss Russian literature. A friend of mine who read it, Russian friend, said that's typical. That is typical of a Russian guy. That sort of male sexual ego would suddenly be thinking, she's wonderful. She loves our poets. It is going to take him away for a while, in a way that was quite credible because of his Russianness in this case. So that sort of multi-layeredness was a very pleasing thing to try and play. And you mentioned there Keira Knightley. Most of her roles have been sort of classic British, and I really enjoyed watching her as a thoroughly modern American. What did you admire about her take on Kathy and her relationship with Jack?
I like her directness and her naturalness. I like her just easy passion. The intelligence and the non-judgmental thing, but she's fiery. She's really fiery. She's got fire in the belly, and I believe that she can be a doctor. I believe her intelligence. I've always felt she was an adventurous actress as well. She didn't want to just be seen in the period things, and so I knew that the accent would probably appeal to her as a kind of departure, and contemporary clothes, and I think she did like that very much. And she just, she's somebody we care about. We want to have her be with Jack and Jack with her, and she was great to play with. great qualities of concentration. And of course, although she's still phenomenally young and beautiful, she's also been doing it for a long time. And I really felt that kind of quality when I acted with her. So she was a real sort of joy to act with.
And finally, you've had Academy Award nominations in 5 separate categories, that adding to your award-winning achievements in theatre and TV. Which, if any, of the disciplines are your favourite, and are there anything left for you to try?
I love acting on film, I must say, because I feel as though it's an area in which I have learnt most and learned the most. But it's a thrill and an honour to be in the theatre. And then you get this. So personally, there's excitement about that. Directing in films, if you get anywhere near what we're trying to set out to do, can have a profound satisfaction. It's something when you see that finished version of a film, if it's kind of what you thought you hoped for, is a very special feeling. Each one I do, whatever the project is, it's always I'm sort of compelled to do that which lights me up. And so they're all fun. I try not to choose. I'm always just grateful that grateful that you're still working, basically.
So Kenneth Branagh, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.